Hello, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me for a quick event report from Cloudera's Analyst Days held at San Francisco this week on Monday, Tuesday, on my way back from San Francisco to San Diego. Thanks to my driver Paul for keeping me safe, so I'm not driving here, so nothing to worry about. Great event, great attendance. Last year it was 40 analysts, this year it was 50 analysts, or almost 60 analysts actually, coming from all over the world. Clearly a sign that Hadoop is doing well and is doing well in the ecosystem. Tough to find the top 3 takeaways. Unfortunately, many of the interesting things we'll learn later in the year were under NDA from Cloudera, so nothing to talk about right now. But really my top 3 takeaways are Hadoop is real and it's working well for Cloudera and the other vendors in the ecosystem. Check out my blog for that. But just some of the numbers here from Cloudera's side. Over 850 enterprise subscription customers, that was over 60% growth. Over 2,200 partners, that's also 50% growth year over year. Doing well global expansion in over 24 countries. Started a Budapest-based development organization with now 35 employees. So number of global expansion, the company now has over 1,200 employees, so growing well. And it has deep pocketbooks thanks to the investment from Intel. So the strategy, I had a chance to speak to CEO Tom Riley, is really not to worry too much about profitability at this point, but really do the right investments to set up the company for the future. As I mentioned, they're well funded going forward. Interesting management team, executive team always at Cloudera, with 3 of the Hadoop co-creators and founders on board, still with a very prolific, not shy Chief Strategy Officer Mike Olsen, but also CTO Amar Avadala, who I had a chance to have dinner with, and the inventor of Hadoop, Doug Cutting. So clearly illustrious when it comes to heavyweight Hadoop on that side. Also had new executive additions there, both on the VP engineering side, on the sales side, and on the legal side. Well, we didn't have a chance to have the legal officer, but a good management team, which seems to be working well together. And also interesting that the CEO, Tom, values in the management team's culture to keep it the same. For a fast-growing company, always a challenge. And for instance, interesting little tidbit here, they're making sure that the VP population does not exceed 2% of the overall population, which some companies have a high title inflation. Look at Constellation as an example from the other side, to be self-critical here. But that's a good thing to see, and good to see the culture working really well. Then we had a presentation, which was always interesting, from Chief Strategy Officer Mike Olsen, who's been doing this for a long time. Always a fun part to listen to Mike. He saw 2 major trends. One of them is Hadoop is driving into the cloud. Cloud and Hadoop come together. It's funny to a certain point because Hadoop started in the cloud, moved to on-premise, and it's kind of like moving back. Why is it happening? Data gravity, of course, we agree on that. All the next generation application scenarios look at all use big data, and all of them have to run more or less when they're productive in the cloud. Flexible resourcing, of course, and overall enterprise acceptance of cloud is up. Of many of these scenarios, IoT, as an example, is one of the most prominent ones. The other part that Mike highlighted was around cybersecurity. Interesting part, way to collect all the events, all the threats that are happening. Definitely Hadoop technology and Cloudera want to leverage that. Interesting, so that there was not so much in the later product announced around security, so something Cloudera does already from the past product or existing product abilities, nothing which is coming too soon. So interesting to see those 2 things coming together. A strong emphasis on the Intel partnership there too. Definitely Cloudera has an advantage being an Intel invested company and seeing what Intel is doing around in memory chips. We talked about a number of innovations there, but in my view, Cloudera still has to bring that into the product and show really tangible advantages over that. So it might be too early, it might have been the wrong time. They talked about it last year too. Not much has happened yet, but the right innovations on the Intel side might be happening now, so that's going to be interesting to see. And then kudos, last one to the takeaway. Third one, really doing work hard on both quality and support. 9.114 customer satisfaction rating is very good overall in the industry. It's good to see the Cloudera really emphasize services and keeps them up there. 99% from 7 SLA capabilities are equally very good. So good to see, and good kudos to Cloudera for sharing openly these numbers and making them available. As usual, check out also my collection of tweets at the bottom of the blog post when the blog post comes out. Video goes first, of course. And then last but not least, a very impressive ecosystem uptake. We had 3 partners presenting to us. Significant uptakes from that. I was particularly impressed by Amdocs building basically an integration layer in Hadoop. Instead of having spaghetti code connecting diverse telecom applications, they're using Hadoop as the integration layer. Exactly the showcase which many of our customers are using Hadoop for too. It's good to see an ISV is doing the same and getting the load. But overall, who is not an Cloudera partner, right? Equally from the other key guy players in big data industry. But good to see that the ecosystem is there, is being managed well. So definitely a very good situation where Cloudera is in right now. My overall point of view, unfortunate always when it's always good to share things under NDA, better to share them than not. It's tough for us to find big things to talk about when they're not happening. What I think overall is going to be important for Cloudera is to get their messaging a little more together. It's great to hear Mike Olsen talking about cloud and security, but then has to be reflected in further things. The vertical effort, we have the 6 heads of the different marketing areas speaking to us, needs to also become some product centricity, not just the messaging, how to sell into certain industries. So that would be the things from my view side to improve, but overall a very good situation for Cloudera to be in. Stay tuned for more updates. Thank you for watching. As usual, this went way longer than it should have. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.